talk about Nazis. Or, more accurately, let's talk about authoritarianism, the style of government that the Nazi regime was known for. However, we're not just going to be talking about the Nazis. We're going to be talking about authoritarianism through the lens of Star Wars. But first, what is authoritarianism, and how does the Empire, the evil regime in Star Wars, fit into it? Well, first of all, authoritarianism is a style of government where those in power hold complete and total control over the people, typically by force. There are about 3 ways that perfectly demonstrate how the Empire fits this. First, they have a dictator. As we see in the 2005 movie, The Revenge of the Sith, Emperor Palpatine completely disbands the Senate and establishes himself as the ruler of the known galaxy. Second, militarism. We see this with the stormtroopers and their military occupation, but we also see it with Order 37, which was where innocent citizens were taken hostage by the military in order to draw out criminals. If these fugitives did not come out, these citizens were killed. Keep in mind that they had done nothing wrong. They were just there. Third, the forcible oppression of the people who fight back. Forcible oppression of opposition. The clearest example of this is Order 66, which according to Captain Rex in Season 7, Episode 11 of the Clone Wars, any and all Jedi leadership must be executed for treason against the Republic. Any soldier who does not comply with this order will also be executed for treason. Keep in mind, the Jedi did not do anything wrong. They were killed simply because they were the biggest threat to the Galactic Empire. Of course, as you can think, this would be pretty harmful, you know? One of the biggest ways that it harms people is through destruction of freedom. The people are helpless. The Nazis had little resistance from their own people because of fear. We see a good example of this in the 1980 movie, The Empire Strikes Back. Lando Calrissian was too afraid to fight back against Darth Vader because he did not feel that he would be able to do anything. This effectively takes away the rights and freedoms of the citizens. Second reason, systematic cruelty. There are no ethics in an authoritarian government. Heck, we see state-sanctioned torture from them. I mean, when you're the big dogs up top, who's going to stop you from violating international humanitarian law? Heck, we even hear Han Solo state, again in the 1980 movie Empire Strikes Back, that they didn't even ask him any questions. They tortured him just to draw in Luke Skywalker. And one of the third things that makes authoritarianism so harmful is propaganda. Why, we saw this with Hitler Youth. Those kids were indoctrinated from an extremely young age to believe that the Nazis, Adolf Hitler, Heinrich Himmler, that all those men were okay, that they were right. And we see this with the stormtroopers in Star Wars as well, because the original stormtroopers were volunteers. And later on, they went full Hitler Youth and kidnapped babies. Now, this all sounds horrible, but what can we learn from it? One of the biggest things we can learn is that politicians lie. We need to think for ourselves and question everything. Second thing we need to learn is that we cannot be silenced. Think about what happened to a political commentator recently. That was forcible silencing. We cannot let fear stop us from speaking our mind. And just like Luke Skywalker, moving on to my third point, we need to keep our morals and values. It doesn't matter how scared we are. We cannot stray away from our God-given values. Just like Luke Skywalker fought to not fall to the dark side despite it was easier, we need to follow the right path, no matter how hard it is. And at the end of the day, as Edmund Burke is popularly accredited with saying, all it takes for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Don't do nothing. Thank you.